Hello, Angel. Welcome back to Queen Flow, the podcast. I'm so excited for you to experience today's episode. What I have to share today was just such a long time coming for me to have the language for. So, I'm specifically going to be diving into the spiritual woman's road to wealth and what this looks like in business and how it very much differs from someone who's intended to move and be in a far more 3D way. And always remember when I say spiritual, I'm not talking about like you're sipping cacao in Bali. Here I am. Like there is New York behind me. Like y'all know that's not my vibe. It's not about kind of like what we're sold to is spirituality on the internet sometimes where it's like those people just have things in common. Sometimes it's in a performative way, whatever it is. I'm just talking about the fact that like you are an energetically awake and energetically sensitive human. Like you are very much anchored around sort of like the unseen. And you're also here to build a massive company. So can't wait for you to dive in. Before we get started, I'm very excited because Magnify, Manifest, Receive is now open for enrollment. I love this container so much, and it is so timely with the number of women who are exhausting themselves playing so deeply in the masculine and business and not understanding that you cannot outrun your frequency when it comes to wealth creation. So, Magnify, Manifest, Receive is the wealth energetics activation to fuel rapid client attraction, to learn to relate to money through desire over push, to move through those upper income limits that you keep experiencing over and over again, and to receive inside your business with ease. So this is specifically around the wealth energetics as they apply. This is not just about your relationship to money, right? This is about wealth energetics as they apply specifically to what we navigate in business. So if you are a spiritual entrepreneur, like you need to get in this room. No matter if you think you want to start a company, you already have a company, it does not matter your income level. My client, like this is hands down one of the most popular programs in my world. And I am taking it off the shelf and offering it with live support because I really feel like it's just so important at this time. So right now you're able to join at over 60% off pre-sale. And very cool, you are going to be bonus into Ascendance, the mastermind, which is going to be kicking off Tuesday, March 18th. This would be a $2,000 mastermind. You are bonus in completely for free when you join us inside Magnify, Manifest, Receive. And I'm very excited because this is going to be like literally one of the only opportunities, if you are not in an actual mastermind with me, to receive that hands-on support around unlocking your particular wealth frequency, your particular wealth codes. Like obviously what's like in alignment for us and like how we attract is going to have some unique differences and variations from human to human. And it's my opportunity to mentor you as well around like your own client attraction, you actually busting through these upper limits in your business so that what you do, right? Because we're going to be taking that frequency angle. We would want what you do in your company to be like potent, right? To land result, not like you doing, and having to doing 600 more things to double your income. When your wealth frequency, your wealth energetics, and like your ability to like move with ease inside of business, to receive clients with ease, to activate people by your frequency, all of these different things, when this is turned on, business is just so much easier. I mean, that's just like a given fact. So in Ascendance, I'm really going to be supporting you in unlocking your and raising your personal wealth frequency with hands-on mentorship. We kick off Tuesday, March 18th. Like I said, you are bonus in completely for free when you join us in Magnify, Manifest, Receive now. And once again, you're able to join at over 60% off pre-sale. And when you pay in full, you also receive 2 free weeks inside the Secret Money membership, which we are loving the Secret Money membership in my world. You're able to, within that 2 weeks, if you're like, okay, actually, like, I don't want to be in the Secret Money membership, you're able to cancel, no problem. So join us inside Magnify, Manifest, Receive now. You'll get instant access to the content. I have multiple Q&A calls coming down the line for the program as well. However, like I said, we have Ascendance, the mastermind, kicking off Tuesday, March 18th. So you want to be here for this. Okay, I am going to, also a reminder, you're able to rate and review the show. Send your screenshot into assistant@jocelynkellyreid.com. And then we will give you a code for $200 off. You can use this for Magnify, Manifest, Receive, or any other offer in the company other than the Secret Money membership, as long as what you're desiring to purchase is of higher price point than the credit. And also, I'm going to put in the episode notes the link to MMR. And Alternatively, you can join us inside the money bundle. So the money bundle gives you like an additional $450 or $499 savings. So you can bundle, magnify, manifest, receive, and overflow. Overflow. So whereas MMR is focused on wealth energetics specifically around business topics, overflow is very much focused on how to move out of that just enough relationship to reality with money and how to live in a perpetual state of excess with money. Overflow is a purely a money conversation, not related to business. So obviously they go together very well. You receive $500 off when you join the money bundle. You will still be bonused into Ascendance when you join the money bundle. You still receive 2 weeks free in secret money when you pay in full for the bundle. So both of those links are in your episode notes, and go enjoy the show. I hope you love it. I'm just with this, when the message hit, it hit, which is why for those of you watching on YouTube, like I'm like looking like I'm like in the dark a little bit in my living room, but the channeling just came through after I was interviewed on another podcast. And so I just had to like pick up the phone and share. And I was not worried about the ring light and all the things. I just wanted to get you a message, the message. All right. I love you. Bye. Hello, Angel. I hope you're having the best evening. I was getting ready to do a set of Instagram stories and I was like, this is just going to take too long. I just need to go live and give a quick update and y'all can catch it on my feed if you don't catch it here. Okay, so I finally feel like I found language for what I've been seeing over and over and over again. I've seen it this year. I've seen it last year. I've seen it so many times. And this is specifically for you if you are a spiritual woman, if you are an energetically based human. And by spiritual, I don't mean that you have to be like sipping cacao in Bali, you know, meditating every morning. Like, it's not about your practices. It's not about your lifestyle. It's about how you move through the world, right? So this is for you if you are an energetically awake human who has a company, who desires to start a company, or is energetically sensitive, open, however you want to think about it, right? This isn't like a label. It's literally just like who you are. So I have seen so many times where women like us, this is including myself, will go into, right? People will be drawn into these spaces where it's like, okay, like copy my exact framework for how I made X amount of money in 30 days. Follow my exact business model to recreate what I created in 6 months. Like, right? This very much of like, come learn how to do it exactly how I do it when it comes to the strategies. And without fail, I continue to see women tank their income. Women who were once making money tank their income by doing this, right? So they will go adopt someone else's, they'll get to a certain place in business. They'll literally go adopt someone else's business model, like blindly adopt the business model without understanding. And I'm going to be speaking the energetic reason why this doesn't work, but I just want to give you the strategic background too, so you can like not be doing this in your company. So I'm seeing a lot of people, they'll be like, oh, I want my business to be more scalable. Oh, she's like, you know, scaling her whole company off these low ticket memberships or memberships period or whatever it is, right? They'll adopt someone else's business model, tank their income because there's actually no plan in place for moving to a model that's potentially more scalable, potentially has lower price offers. But like, you haven't set yourself up to create volume. We have no transition plan from doing more high ticket. Like, there's so many ways where like, I totally get that everybody wants to have a scalable business, but you cannot just overnight have like 100% scalable business, completely maintain your numbers and have no transition plan, no plan for bringing more volume. Like, if we want to make transitions in the business to be more scalable, we need to do this smart. So please do not tank your income overnight because you see that somebody else is making a lot of money in a scalable way. I have all parts to my business. Lots of my business is super scalable. I still have proximity in my business as well. But I think that like sometimes people have taken like the passive income message like a little too far and don't quite understand what is genuinely required to build passive income. Okay, so I just want to give you that background like on the strategic front. If you want to chat about like how do you transition to a more passive model while also not tanking your numbers, then shoot me a DM and we can find a way for me to help you. I'm a whiz at this. Okay, But energetically, what I want to share with you around why it is not working for you when you go into these spaces and you're like, oh my God, teach me how you made 100K in 30 days. Teach me how you made $1 million in 30 days. Give me your exact content. Like, give me your chat GBT, whatever the hell, custom chat GBT. Like, I want to do it exactly like you. Give me your business model, blah, blah, blah. The reason this is not working for you is literally because of your strongest asset, which is you being an energetically based human. So we need to understand that you move differently. And I'm going to give you a way to think about this. So think about so if we think about, there's people who operate very well, right? Like on the 3D plane. And that's very much their learning style. And that's very much how they grow. There's people who operate very well and efficiently on the energetic plane, and that is their learning style, and that is how they grow. And it doesn't mean that you don't learn practical 3D things. You absolutely need to, or we will not be scaling a big company. But it means the way that you go about your learning needs to look different. Okay, so think about someone, for example, who is a doctor, who is a lawyer. This is a system where it's like, the more information you learn, right? And the more you learn to synthesize that information, the better that you get at your job, right? That is going to be someone who thrives in a corporate career, right? Who thrives in a very like information-based position, who thrives literally, recreating what they learned and like putting it out in the world, doing the operations, knowing all the science, all of these different things, right? That is a very 3D way of moving through the world. And again, we're not making a more energetic way or a more 3D way, right or wrong. They are just different. Okay. When you are more energetically awake and more spiritually sensitive, you are not logic first, you are energy first. So when you put yourself in hyper masculine business containers, guess what happens? Everything is logic, 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 logic. And you shut down because your entry point isn't logic. Your entry point is frequency. You guys already know, because I know y'all have already tried this. When you try to go in hyper masculine business spaces and you're like, I'm just going to follow this exact formula. I'm just going to follow these exact steps. And like money's going to follow this guy. It doesn't work. When was the last time it worked for you? It probably hasn't yet. Not because none of those things that you are learning, not because they don't ever work or they're not going to work, but because of the way that you receive information, because of the way that you make decisions, because of how awake you are, because you are not meant to move through the world in this hyper 3D way. Trust me, if I go out there and try to follow like somebody's 10-step formula, right? And like, meaning like on a very tangible 3D strategic thing, right? And it's like, oh, gotta do it exactly like this. It will not work. The end. Does not work. If I tried to hire a copywriter and was like, oh, just come like write on my behalf, it will not work. Can my team repurpose what I create? Sure. But like, it's not like I don't have a 3D business. You don't have a 3D business where someone can literally like just come in and like write all your copy. You just follow this 14-step launch formula and have a 6-figure launch. Like your energy doesn't work like that. But it is not actually a bad thing. But it is exactly why when you get in these strategic, very strategic rooms, you're like, how is this working for all of these people and this is not working for me? Because it is not designed to, because it is not meant to. And it is not that you are better than them or they are better than you. It's just that you're different. It's like you're just in the wrong room, right? Like they're in the 3D room because learning in a 3D way works very effectively for them. You are supposed to be in the 5D room where it's energy first. And then we bring in the strategies, we bring in all the different styles of content, we bring in the business things behind the energy, because that's how you receive information. So when you understand energetically how something works, why it works, when you have the opportunity to energetically engage with concepts and like what's going to be a vibe for your business, when you learn how to turn frequency into form, when you're an energetically based human, you're doing this all the time. Like we are literally whizzes at turning frequency into a form. Like you'll feel an offer coming through you without knowing exactly what it is, right? You might be newer in business and you're just like feeling feeling something want to come out and you don't know what it is. You're feeling a message being ready to birth and you don't know what it is. Like, you feel everything first. You probably feel shit before it occurs, right, on the planet, and there it is. So if someone comes to you, so you need to be a whiz at distilling those feelings into tangible things, right, that we can market, sell. Then, right, we bring in like, okay, these are like different styles of content that you can play with. These are different styles of funnels that you can play with. These are different ways that you can scale your company. These are different business models. All right, cool. Here's all the business models I know, all the business models I've seen work. But like, do you like anything from this? Where's your business at? Are we going to tank your income if we do this? Or are you like in a perfect position for this to be easy? Is this going to be hard for you or is this going to be easy? Right? Like, what's going to be the path to ease for you? Oh, your frequency works like this. Why don't we evolve it like this? You guys need mentorship like this. You guys need, I'm like this too. And I feel like for the past year, I have not had the language to help you understand why that shit continues to not work for you. Right? Even when it's taught by women under the guise of feminine business because, oh, you have a funnel and so that means you make money in your sleep. But really, what you're learning is everything is logic, right? And so there's no opportunity to like play with the frequency of what is learned because it's just presented as like straight up logic. And you guys, I don't even have to explain that to you. When I say that, you're just like, ooh, right? And again, it's not wrong, but it's working for people who are here to create in a more 3D way. And quite usually what you'll see where that's working really well for people, where they can just literally copy paste what someone else does to a T, they tend to have more 3D style companies as well. It's literally just like, it's just an energetic difference, right? So for example, like people who are in politics, right? Like they play in a certain type of like frequency in terms of like what works for them and how they learn, like these celebrities, like, do you know what I mean? Like doctors, lawyers, like we're all on these different like energetic planes and none are better than the other. But I know spiritual women in business like the back of my hands. And the more that y'all try to look for the 14-step formula, the 4-step formula, without being masterful of your energy, the harder business will be for you. And the more you will wonder why it is working for her and is not for you. And I guarantee you, she has a more 3D constitution than you do. So when she's learning that way, it works for her. I do not have any energetically based clients who've risen to make lots of money where I have seen that work. Now, don't get me wrong. When you come into my world, for example, I'm not just like, oh, tune in. How do you feel? Like, that's ridiculous. Like yes, we are going to be focused on being masterful of energy. But for me, what it's always about is like building your business intelligence. And this is where I get so frustrated, even in the industry that I'm in, that I'm passionately believe in, because there's all these people on the internet teaching people how to be fucking followers. Do this, do that. And like, I will, like I said, I'm directive in mentorship, but it's really based on your company, your energy, where you're at. But my problem with just like, oh, do this, do that. Like, this is the 14-step plan. Do not deviate from the plan. This is just like what it is it doesn't build your business intelligence. In order for you to build something incredible, in order for you to be known, in order for you to have a 7-figure, multiple 7-figure, 8-figure empire, for you to be on stages, for you to be on these big shows, for you to wake up and be like, holy shit, I am so in my purpose, and to be able to monetize that with ease, you have to grow your brain for business. It's not just about following steps, right? Like, we break things down into steps so that they can become more tangible. But the most important skill set is growing your business intelligence. Think about anyone, think about anybody on the world stage. None of them are there or at the top of the industry, 1% above, right? Like, it's so crazy. You know, actually, I think it's only 12% of women are even making 6 figures. I'm like, this is insane. Much less 7 and above. And I know exactly why, because everybody is learning how to be a fucking follower. instead of learning how to grow your business intelligence. When you grow your business intelligence, you don't just learn how to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get smarter at business. So think about someone who's created something like incredible in the world, just anybody off the top of your brain. Elon Musk, we can like him, we can hate him, whatever. He's created something incredible in the world, right? Like, or I don't know, someone like Kim Kardashian who has all these product lines, all of these things, or people in the coaching industry, like whatever industry you're interested in where people are creating, none of them, not a single one got there because they followed a 14-step plan. Not a single one got there because they followed a 14-step plan. You hire mentors, you get in programs, you get in rooms so you can do it better, so you can do it faster, so you can understand from people who've already walked the journey to where you want to go. But if you are not building your business intelligence at the same time, instead of just focusing on like 1, 2, 3, 4 steps, you don't get better at business. So that you don't make any more money. Right? And so this is another reason why, because typically people who are energetically based are stronger on the frequency front. I'm always talking about like, if your energy feels bigger than the money that you're making, it's for a reason. And the catch up work to do, right, is on the business intelligence front. Right? And you're like, okay, Jocelyn, well then why, well, shouldn't I just like go into the logic-based room? Then wouldn't that fill the gap? And like, no, you know why it doesn't? Why it's not been working so far is because you don't build business intelligence in the room. You're just given steps and frameworks and like prompts without any understanding of why they work or why they wouldn't work, without any awareness of how to apply it to your brand. I can't tell you the number of times someone's brought me an email funnel that because they bought some email funnel program, and then by what I know of her and her content and what converts in her audience, I'm like, what is this? And she's like, oh, I bought this thing. I'm like, of course you did, because this doesn't look anything like what we already know converts for your audience. And I am not opposed to templates, funnels, all the things. Always will share exactly what I do, but what's so important to me is why it worked and why it worked for my brand. So when I am teaching business strategy, it is not 1, 2, 3, Jocelyn, do what Jocelyn does. Do not come to me and be like, Jocelyn, what next 4, 5, 6, 7 steps should I take? Like, you don't have a brain, because you will not get where you want to go if that's what you want to do. It's like, hey, this is what I'm vibing with. This is what my audience vibes with. This is what we're seeing working. This is what we're not seeing working. This is what I'm thinking. How can we evolve from here? Oh, Jocelyn, I listened to these things like in this program, like this part doesn't feel like a vibe it could be in my program, right? This part doesn't feel like a vibe for my business, or I can't tell if I'm ready for it. This part does. Like, what are your thoughts? You know what I mean? Based on the company and where I am and like my client type and what I excel in and all these different things, right? These are conversations where we can build your business intelligence. But you guys have got to stop falling for the fucking trick of like, and it's not a trick. Can come across as a trick for you because it's not for you, but it sounds like it's going to be easy. Oh, I just need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And I just need to put this exact email funnel in place. I just need to copy all the ways that so-and-so does content, and I'm going to have like a 6-figure, 7-figure company. Like, it's delusional. It will not work for you like that. Stop looking for it to work for you like that. And you will just be so much happier and you will make so much more money. And part of the reason I'm saying this is because when I was on this podcast tonight, they were like, how did you grow so quickly? And I was like, I just like did not pay attention to, I always had mentorship. Like, I'm always in mentorship. I've invested in multiple 6 figures in mentorship. Like, I would never be here without it. But the way I look at it is I was going to get here anyway. I'm going to go exactly where I'm going anyway. And I invest with people who fucking get it, who get what time it is. You know what I mean? Who aren't just like 1, 2, 3, 4. Because I want to get there faster. I want to grow spiritually. I want to grow energetically. I want to be more awake. I want to continue to thrive as a human. I want my mind opened. I want to be like thinking about shit differently. Like, I like being stimulated. You know what I mean? And I want someone, like, you can't see all your blind spots. Like, there's just all the reasons that we invest and that we get up close to people should be obvious by now. But when they said, how did you grow so fast? I was like, I just like did not pay attention to 3D noise on the internet. I was like, I'm not doing that fucking webinar. I'm not doing these like robots and I use many chat funnels in my Instagram, but it was like, I had a mentor, for example, who was highly scaled on ads and like very complex strategies. She had like automation. I don't mean like how we'll use ManyChat in our Instagram DMs. Like, you know, there was like bots messaging you on Facebook, like the way that they did sales pages and packaging and everything. It was like, she was very good at business, like very good at business. And it was really working for her, you know, I don't know, like 500K months, like something like that. But I just knew that like all those things were not going to be it for me. You know what I mean? And so I knew how to extract what was going to be on the vibe for me and just leave everything else. And like, there was all this stuff on the internet. I would just ignore it. I was like, why, you know, maybe for example, I did sales calls for a little bit and I was like, I don't need to do this. I don't need to do webinars. I don't need to do cold DMs. I don't need to do 365 days live. Like, I just ignored everything. And so many people buy into everything because somebody's rubbed $2 together and turned it into $5. And you're like, oh my God, they have all the answers. But are you tuned into, are you going to actually grow your business intelligence? Are you tuned into, is this a space where I can really bring forward the energetics and this person can help me alchemize these energetics into what I am tangibly and desiring to create? This is literally one of my strongest zones of genius, which is why I do so well with energetic women, is I understand you frequency wise. I understand you energetically. I actually get your work without you having to explain it 14 times, right? Like I always say, energetics are my second language. And I'm very strong on the 3D. I'm very good at business. I spent 15 years in sales and marketing, even before this business, right, in the 3D world. But my superpower, right, is being able to alchemize that in ways that are going to work for us. Where it's not like, okay, guys, it's time to launch, do these 4 things, like as though that's going to work for everyone. That would be an actual lie if I told you that. Even if I sold you that because it would be easy, it'd be a fucking lie. I've never seen any of my clients run their launches exactly the same way to yield the exact same result. Everyone is different. Your businesses are at different places. What you enjoy is different. What's a vibe for your energy is different. Like, for example, I've had clients who love launching, like the type of people who like prep for the launch for like 3 months and like build up to this big crescendo point, and I would die. Your girl would hit the floor. Like, I have the most chill launch vibes. Like, I don't do any of that. We do not have a 46 email sequence, but I'll still do email sequences and they still work. But it's like that isn't my launch energy. I'm much more of like a make money every day, consistent, vibey, and I'll create kind of like a little bit of a web, like behind the scenes. How are things moving? How are things like moving very easily up my ascension model? Like, okay, this is the offer I want to focus on. What are the vibey ways I'm going to bring people into it? All right, cool. Now we're looking at automations on things that are working, but like I'm like a business witch, you know? Like I'm strategic, but I'm more flowy versus someone who's like, okay, we're launching. It's all guns blazing for the next 2 weeks. I'm on. I can't go to dinner. I can't do anything else. I'm launching. Like I would collapse. Like I'm someone who's just like consistent sustainability is my vibe, right? So for someone else that like go hard for 2 weeks, we're all in, we prepped all the content, blah, 45 emails, they're all ready to go. Like that's their style and that works for them. And that is not wrong. But my style is different and that is not wrong. But it's like, I just had to learn what worked for me. And I would take bits and pieces from the people I was learning from. I was like, oh, that's a vibe, that's a vibe, that's a vibe. But I could not have built a multiple 7-figure company in the amount of time that I built it. I could not have had 10K months, 60 days into my business, 30K months, 6 months in, my first 50K month by the end of year 1, 100K months, cash months in year 3, if I was following fucking formulas. and copying people's business models just because they made a lot of money and just because they have good marketing on the internet. This is what too many of you are doing. And I'm not even blaming the person who's teaching. She's literally doing exactly what she told you she was going to do. Tell you exactly how she created X, Y, and Z. What I'm telling you is that in those very 3D spaces, it is not working for you because you are not the type of person who can just check boxes and expect to have an empire. That's literally not your energy. And it doesn't mean that it's harder for you. Because you'll be like, oh, why? Like, why can't I just be the person who someone else just writes my emails and they all convert and I just check boxes and everything sells the fuck out? Like, why can't I be that person, right? It's sort of where you're like, oh, why aren't I more normal, right? But the thing that you're forgetting is like, yeah, but sure, maybe someone in the quote unquote 3D has it easier, quote unquote easier in certain ways. Like they can just check boxes, create generic stuff, and like somehow that's working for them, right? In the coaching world. But for you, you have a much easier time getting paid to be yourself. You have a much easier time literally magnetizing people to you because of who you are. Like what an optimal way to get paid. You never have to run into like, oh my God, all my clients just pay me to solve a problem. Like you always feel valued. People are always like, holy fuck, being in your world's insane. Like, do you know, like there's always a vibe and like you always attract off a vibe. And then when you back that up with strategies, content styles, all the different things that really sing your genius, sing your energy, really are like good for you, right? And then you allow those to evolve for where you're going. Sometimes we get a little stuck on what worked before, but evolve for where you're going. Like business is actually really easy for people like us. Because you don't always need 14 more steps to quantum leap your income, the way that what you think is easier for someone who's more 3D. But guess what? Since that's how they do things, they always need 65 more steps to get the next place. And this is where you'll see people creating the most complex strategies to 2x, 3x their income. And someone who's more energetically based is like, what? I just like did that in 60 days and I didn't need to launch like 14. I've seen the craziest stuff for people who are more 3D. Got to launch 12 more products to double my income. Got to post 3 times a day to double my income. I'm like, I don't need to do any of that to double my income. So who actually has it easier? You know what I mean? But they would get frustrated playing in the realm of women who are energetically based because they're not wired that way. So they'd be like, I don't get it. So they'd feel like they're beating their head against the wall. They've got to do it the linear way, right? So they just get their way. What I love about being energetically based is like when we are aligned frequentially, when we are actually powerfully embodied and understanding the world of energetics and applying that to our business and then backing that up with strategies, content styles, like all the different things that support like that, the masculine container that holds your company, you fucking fly. And you fly with so much ease that all the other 3D people are like, how is she doing it? And you're like, just who I am. But if you want to have that experience, you need to stop going towards things that aren't for you, expecting them to work. You need to stop trying to be this like super 3D person that you're not and just own who the fuck you are. And like, this is the paradigm that you play in. This is the paradigm I play in. Like, I am not exempt from this. If I've ever gone in a direction like that, it does not go well. It does not go well. I contract, like my creativity is killed. I have a headache. And I'm not talking about just learning something new. There's been things that I needed to do that were like new in my business or master that I hadn't really had to master before or master in a new way. Yeah, sometimes that would give me a headache. You know what I mean? But but it's like, do I want what's on the other side of this? And I'm like, yes. You know what I mean? Or it's like, I need to figure out how to evolve it for me, but it's not a flat out, like, this just doesn't even make sense for me or my company where I am in business. It's just like, oh, I'm expanding. And as I'm expanding energetically, I'm also expanding skill set wise. But I will tell you, hands on my heart, it will never work for me to follow somebody else's 14-step launch plan. It will never work for me to copy someone's email sequence and just like switch out some fucking words. It will never work for me to follow a content script. Like all this stuff for energetically based people, y'all, stop. Like, just stop. Just the same way that if someone tells you you're learning business, but everything is like these crazy energetics and you can never get an answer about your business, that's the other default pattern you guys have. It's like going so masculine or getting in these spaces where it's just like spiritual masturbation and you still don't know how to run a company. Like, we need to play in the spaces of the sweet spot. The spaces of the sweet spot where first, we are tuning into energetic alignment, right? We are learning how to understand our own energetics and the energetics of the world around us more potently so that we have a better grasp on bringing them into form, on allowing them to channel through, on knowing what it means for us, not for her, but for you, right? And then you back that up with a strategy. So I always teach what I do. Like, I don't leave that a mystery. I will always teach that. I love business. I've been inside so many types of businesses, so many types of industries. I fucking love it. I'm obsessed with it, always will be. But I would lie to you if I said there was one way. I would lie to you if I said you could follow 4 steps. I would lie to you if I said you could just copy my email funnel and that will work, which is why I don't teach that way. I teach principles. I teach why they matter. I teach what you need to be thinking about. And I show you what I do when I give you other ideas, et cetera, et cetera. My goal is always to leave you not just doing more things in your company, but fucking smarter, right, than when you found me. Because this is I'm here to build leaders. I'm not here to be people who get to just practice what they learned in school, like checking boxes and then you get an A. Because that skill set isn't what makes you a 7-figure, 8-figure entrepreneur. It's not. So we need to turn off that part of the program that has you still looking for that and realize that you just want to be someone who grows your business intelligence, who grows your frequency field, who becomes more discerning, who becomes better at marketing, selling, and offer creation and all the business things, but through the lens of your unique energy, through the lens of where you are in business, through the lens of what you want now, through the lens of what you want in the future, through the lens of what vibes with your audience, not what vibes with her audience. And when you understand this, it really will change the game. So like, no more cults and no more, because you will always be disappointed. And like I said, it won't be the fault of the mentor. They're doing exactly what they were going to do. They're really good for 3D people, but it'll be because you keep trying. It's like literally, it's like rejecting yourself to keep going down that road. It makes no sense. You need to witness and feel your Jocelyn energy tonight. Aw, thank you, Kelsey. Oh my gosh, I was so in the zone. I missed the comments. Okay, but are you guys picking up what I'm putting down? Because I do not want to receive any more clients telling me that they abandoned their business, copied someone else's business model, income tanked, right? Doing all these content frameworky things that who cares about a framework if you don't even know your thought leadership? Like, it doesn't matter. It literally does not matter. And the thing is that's funny is I teach business strategy. I teach content. I teach all these things. But so for me, teaching content, and I will teach yes, could you call them frameworks? Sure. But I don't teach it to you without teaching you how to potently create thought leadership to where those things would ever even work in the first place, right? And it's I'm aware of the fact that people have very different content styles and different communication styles. So for example, I am clearly an activator. All of my clients are not activators. I cannot have everybody writing quote unquote activating content that sends an electric current through people's fields because that's not for everyone. So how the hell would that work? It won't, right? Some people are very powerful, in-depth storytellers. The way that they write content, makes you feel like it's a movie. You know what I mean? And they're always so in the moment and so in touch with every feeling. This is not my content style. I can sometimes write content like that, but it's not my content style. But I can speak to what will make a content style like that work just because I understand sales and marketing. But I don't always write content like that. I would never tell someone else to always write content like that. But when I have a client come forward or someone's oh, I really vibe with that style content that feels really easy for me, my audience likes it, I'm oh, let's turn up this. Do you guys understand that It's not about doing exactly what so-and-so does. It's about having an understanding of all of these ways to do something and then optimizing it to you and understanding not just how to do it and how to, in theory, have it work, but why it works. Why it works. Because if you want to make a lot of money, if you want business to feel easy, you have to you're not just checking boxes. Thank you, Queen. This is also a filter, so I won't lie to you. I mean, I think that's pretty obvious, but thank you. I was on a podcast. Gabby said I look radiant. I feel good today because I landed this message finally. I can finally explain that we are just on a different plane and we learn differently. And it's like the coolest thing about us. The coolest thing about us. Think about it like this too. You know how so many entrepreneurs, they say that we all have ADHD. So many of us have been told we have ADHD. And I'm like, oh, what do you mean? When we're bored, we can't focus? Or we have a lot of things to talk about, but in school it was problematic, right? It's like, she doesn't pay attention. I'm like, maybe she's too smart to be in the room. She's fucking bored. They're like, give her some medication so she can like zone out and dumb herself down. Okay. You know what I mean? So you're problematic when you're in the school system, and then you leave the school system and you're like a genius who's like inventing things, creating things. Like how many successful people have you heard say like, oh yeah, I have ADHD, I'm autistic, like whatever it is. And it's like, why is this always put on smart people? Isn't that interesting, right? So when we're in school, we're in the wrong room. But as soon as you leave and go into entrepreneurship, right, where you get to focus on what excites you, you get to not follow steps and formulas like you do in school, but actually explore like the brilliance of your own mind and learn from all these other people who have expanded minds and are thinking about different things differently and thinking beyond just the Matrix program. All of a sudden, you're able to create the unimaginable and you don't need to be drugged to get things done. Oh, why is that? Because you weren't in the right room before. Right? You weren't in the right room before, so it wasn't working for you, even though it's working for all the other people who it does work for. You're not better or worse. We are just different. Do you see what I'm saying? But unfortunately, in the school system, all the kids are just taught the exact same way. I talked too much, blah, blah, blah. Isn't it funny how I made millions of dollars talking, but I was talking too much before? You know what? Like there was always something, right, that we were in trouble for or whatever it is, but that's what I mean. We were in the wrong room. So when we are energetically based, when we are energetically awake humans, when we try to go in rooms where that's not a priority, where that's not a conversation, where us looking through the world, through business, at money, through that lens is not part of what we do, backed up with, okay, cool. Now how do we bring in these 3D things to support you, because we need to turn your frequency into form based on you, who you are, what you're vibing with, what works for you. We got to find out what works for you, all these things. Do you understand why now that is going to be more supportive to you than just being in places that are logic based? And again, not because they're wrong, but you're just different. And this is one of the most powerful things that I've learned for myself is like, oh, nothing's wrong, right? We're just different. And like I said, it's actually a superpower. It's so cool. But if you keep putting yourself in the wrong room, then you don't actually get to experience your magic. And this is not what we want for you. Message is hitting so hard. I'm so happy. I just like, I don't know how it took me so long to like be able to explain this, but I was like, why does this keep happening? Like, why do I keep attracting these clients who've been like having, I don't know, just doing stuff that makes no sense for being energetically based with very well-meaning and successful people. And I'm like, oh, because like their energy is not being taken into account. They're not actually being seen. They're not being seen because it's like you trying to be seen by somebody who cannot see you, who doesn't get you, right? You're going to someone who's super 3D trying to be understood when the majority of your energy is like 5D energy and you happen to be in a physical form. It's just like when you were a kid, let's say they said you had ADHD or whatever, you're problematic in class. It's like that teacher literally just like could not see you, right? But then when later, maybe you were with your mentor or like doing something different or in a more creative space or whatever, and that person could see you, all of a sudden you weren't problematic anymore and things felt easier, right? It's like these differences and not making anything right or wrong, but just different. I'm so happy that this came through me. I hope this helped you. I sincerely do. So I want more for us. I want you guys to make the money that you want to make. I want you to feel good making it. I want you to stop giving yourself a headache about 1, 2, 3 steps and just like actually tap into your potency and learn the business things. You know, I teach the business things just like I teach the energetic things. We got to learn them. Growing my business intelligence has grown my company, but not when I'm not in fucking alignment, not when I'm not tuned into frequency first, not when I'm trying to be understood by someone who just like doesn't understand an energetic human. It's just, it doesn't work. It's like trying to date the wrong dude. Does not work. So just know this and tune out all the 3D stuff on the internet because it's not for you. And I don't mean tune out like how to do things in your company. I'm saying like tune out teaching that is just like exclusively from that perspective because you keep going in the direction and it keeps not working. So don't we need to maybe look in a new direction where there's just like a symbiotic relationship between frequency, between energy, and between strategy, a symbiotic relationship between the masculine and between the feminine. And there's people who are more 3D who've made a shit ton of money that I genuinely respect. And they will say things. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. I like that. You know what I mean? But I'm talking about people who are going to be like up close in my business. It's like, I know that won't work because I'm not someone who can just follow steps. I can't be like, oh, we've scaled X, Y, and Z companies to $10 million and like you're next. And all you got to do is 1, 2, 3, 4. Like the universe won't even allow that for me. The universe will not even allow that for me. I guarantee you it could work for 10 people and won't work for me. Because for us, usually when we're energetically based, our greatest lesson is fucking personal power. Our greatest lesson is power. And if you guys haven't noticed, every time shit goes sideways, you were outsourcing your power. Name me one time things went sideways in your life where you didn't outsource your power. So therefore, do you really think it's going to work for someone to insert some random funnel into your company for you to follow someone's exact business model, exact strategy, and like make $1 bazillion when the whole point of being incarnated in whatever version of lifetime you are, where you're so awake, is to wake other people up to their power, to wake yourself up to your power in the particular ways that you do it, that you're just going to be allowed to copy, paste, and move on? Like, no. It's not going to happen. Frequency to form, figure out what works for you. Love that resonates for sure. Exactly. And so we get to have support about that. I'm not saying to try to like meditate your business into fruition. You guys have heard me talk about business enough to know that ain't it. Right? But it's like, I just want you to understand how important it is to bring that, to understand that it's an alchemy for you. It's not a step-by-step. It is an alchemy for you. It is not a step-by-step. And you will just fly, you will flourish when you understand its alchemization and stop going to the part of your mind that wants it to be like school, that wants to have the 3D business because Sally next door, it really works for her to have a 3D business, when you're just not here for that. But like I said, your gift is to quantum leap. Your gift is you get paid to be yourself. We just make crazy shit happen. Like we're the witches of the internet, right? But when you grow your intelligence, you're not just spiritual, you're also like making money, and you understand more powerfully how to make money for you, regardless of what everyone else is doing. So you don't get caught up in all these trends and noise. Like, yeah, you'll try on stuff that you like, and like you'll challenge yourselves to new things because you want to grow. But it's like everybody else will be chasing things, and you're just going to be like, I'm just like doing my thing and I'm vibing and it's working. That is a line. You're so welcome. I'm so happy. It's alchemy, not a step-by-step. Please. Yes. All right. I love you. I don't know if Instagram's going to put this up, but my phone's about to die and we do not want to lose this. Okay. So shoot me a DM if you want any help with your company, if you have any questions, if you have any feedback. I'm just here for you. And I'm like, let's do it our way. It's going to be so much better. Let 2025 be different. Okay. Bye. Hi, gorgeous. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. This is your reminder that Magnify, Manifest, Receive, the Wealth Energetics Activation for fueling rapid client attraction, about time for receiving money through the frequency of desire over push, and this overall having this frequency of ease inside your company is currently on sale for over 60% off, which is just huge. When you join us now, you are also going to be automatically enrolled into Ascendance the Mastermind, which is going to be kicking off Tuesday, March 18th, so in just a few weeks. So this is your opportunity to receive direct mentorship with me around your energetics with wealth creation, specifically inside your company, and the things that you come up against in business. We are going to be unlocking your personal wealth codes so that it becomes very easy for you to fly. And of course, I am going to be there directly mentoring you, helping you see what you can't see and amplify for you what you are not amplifying, and really just rewiring your energetic relationship to business, to money, and to all of our experiences with business and money inside your company. So I'm so excited to lead that. In addition, you have instant access to the content. I've run Magnify, Manifest, Receive for years now. There's literally over 30 hours for you to dive into. Do not freak out and be like, oh my God, that's too much. This isn't one of these things where like you got to watch every single thing in order for you to get. I'm like, it's an energetic activation. And so what's most important is the first 8 modules, which are all clearly labeled. So you know exactly what you're going to be focusing on. There's energetic work and integration work to support the content. So it's one of the most popular spaces in my world. I'm so excited to be opening it up again. And right now you get to join for the best price and be bonus into Ascendance the Mastermind when you pay in full. You will also be in for the Secret Money membership for 2 weeks. You are able to leave within the 2 weeks if you do not desire to stay, but you'd also be crazy not to stay. But either way, you are able to test it out for 2 weeks when you pay in full for Secret Money. You're in for an ascendance no matter whether you join on the payment plan or pay in full. And the best move in the house is to join the money bundle, because the money bundle is going to give you Magnify, Manifest, Receive, and it's also going to give you Overflow, which is all about the energetics of moving out of the just enough relationship with money, cycling with money, feast and famine with money, and how to live in a perpetual state of excess with overflow. Perpetual state of excess of overflow. So MMR is going to be all wealth energetics specifically applied to business. Overflow is going to be our general ability to create a wealth reality, not just a fucking frequency, a wealth reality through who we become in our relationship to money. So they go together hand in hand. When you pay in full, you will also receive the 2 free weeks inside of Secret Money. If you were in a prior round of MMR, you will be included in the Q&A calls, but Ascendance, because it's a mastermind, is running separately. But we do have a fantastic price for you if you were in a prior round of Magnify, Manifest, Receive, or a prior round of the Money Bundle where you also got Magnify, Manifest, Receive. So just reach out to me. I'll give you those details. Please, if you are watching this on YouTube, be sure to subscribe. If you are listening on one of the podcast channels, be sure to hit subscribe so you know when the next episodes are coming out. A reminder that you are able to rate and review the show, and this is for the podcast world, send your screenshot to assistant@jocelynkellyreid.com, and we will give you a $200 off code. You can use that on MMR. You can use it on the money bundle. You can use it on any offer in my business that is of a higher price point than the credit, with the exception of the Secret Money membership. So love you so much, and I'll be back soon.